First, Sarah, thank you very much for stepping in to be our Mistress of Ceremonies. We appreciate it very much. And this is a very important moment in the celebration of the bicentennial of the War of 1812. And we thank all that are involved. The United States Senate passed last week a resolution acknowledging the bicentennial of the War of 1812. So we are on our way. We are starting our celebration. And we are ready to go to celebrate the Second War of Independence. And we think back 200 years ago when this nation was about 6 million, and the vulnerability that we had. The British were interfering with our trade. They were impressed American merchant marines into the British service. They were doing things that were very provocative to the new nation. And at last, America said enough is enough and declared war on Great Britain. After that declaration of war, the British thought that they would make a short battle of America, and they came over and they attacked America. And we know in 1814, after burning down the Capitol, the White House in Washington, D.C., they marched to the Port of Baltimore, because the Port of Baltimore was a major port, a major prize for the British. And they first attacked by land, and I can't do as well as Governor O'Malley can do in this, on the telling of the story. You know, our commander-in-chief here knows with pride what the people of Baltimore did. And it's true, they were militia. They were citizen soldiers at North Point that stopped the British, badly outnumbered, but they had the spirit of this new nation. And then the British tried to attack us through the port and came up at Fort McHenry. Now you have to understand, the American naval forces were all of about 50 ships. The British had 850. We had none of the port defenses that we have today. There were no missiles out there to protect us. There was no radar system. It was just the guts of the people of Baltimore that stopped the British. And of course we know about Francis Scott Key and his vision and writing the poem that became our national anthem. We stopped the British right here in Maryland. And we are proud of that. And we want to be able to celebrate that. And that is what we are doing in the bicentennial celebrations that will take place. I want to thank all that are responsible for the celebration in our country. First, those who serve in our armed forces and what you have done to defend our nation since the War of 1812. The National Park Service, Tina Orcutt, thank you for what you do here at Fort McHenry. I want to thank all that are involved from the citizens' point of view in the 1812 Bicentennial Commission. So many of you are here, but I see Alan Walton in the back. I mention Alan because he was a visionary many, many years ago and said that we could do more to have the right way to commemorate the history of our nation that will be important for tourists coming to Maryland, helping our economy, and also help school children really understand the history of our nation. I want to thank all of those that are involved, but I particularly want to acknowledge my colleagues. Everyone in our delegation has worked hard on this, starting with Senator Paul Sarbanes, who I followed in the United States Senate, Senator Mikulski and Congressman Cummings. Congressman Sarbanes is here, and I want to thank him particularly for his leadership help. But it was Dutch Ruppersberger who started this effort on the coin in the House of Representatives. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all the details, because it's a lot of glory in helping you with the war bicentennial celebration. But there's no real pleasure in trying to get the signature you need to get a coin minted. That's a lot of legwork. That's a lot of talking to your colleagues in order to get signatures. And I particularly want to acknowledge Dutch's extraordinary leadership. He challenged me by getting it done in the House first. I then had to get it done in the United States Senate, and it was worth the effort, because we have an incredible commemorative coin that's going to be something that people will want to hold, because it's a piece of our history of our nation and the pride that we have here in Maryland. But it also will give us the money to be matched by the private sector dollars that will allow us to appropriately celebrate the bicentennial of the War of 1812. We thank you all for making this possible. I want to acknowledge Daniel Shaver from the U.S. Mint. thank you for your help in making this possible so that all of us can celebrate the incredible role that was played right here 200 years ago in the defense of our nation. Thank you.